In this video, we're going to be building Ninjago sets and minifigures from the future for the newest members of the Ninja team. A 4-armed mech, a dragon, and even a dragon bite. Lots of cool sets in this video, but let's start off with a custom 4-armed mech for Aaron. So when you think of Ninjago mechs, you typically think of amazing mechs like Lloyd's Titan mech, Zane's Titan mech, Cole's Fire and Earth Stone mech, Mia's Samurai X mech, Jay's Titan mech. Not this one, but the vast majority are pretty good. The only reason I can afford all these is because I'm clearly very rich and financially insecure. I'm wearing 2 watches. That proves my wealthiness. I'm actually gonna take this off. It makes me look kind of stupid. But I wanted to make mine a little bit better than this. Now, in my last wave of Future of Ninjago sets, you get plenty of the normal and or original ninja. So for the minifigures, I wanted them to be all new ones. The minifigures I decided to go with were Aaron, Wildfire, and a villain I named Boyd. For Agent Aaron, that's what I'm gonna be calling him. I'm illiterate, yes. I basically just stole Star-Lord's clothing. And then for the cape, I actually got 2 cape pieces, cut one of them, probably an illegal building technique, and put it upside down to get the cool collar. For Agent Wildfire, again, I'm illiterate and stupid, but look past that. I got Wildfire's head and hair. For the torso and legs, I got Kai and Nia's dad, Ray's torso and legs. I think that's his name now. Typically in a battle, there's a good and bad side. Typically. For Ninjago though, there always seems to be a villain for every battle. So finally, Boyd, the villain. I have literally no idea where these pieces came from, so I can't tell you, but they look dope. If you know where they came from, let me know. With the minifigures done, I had the actual set, and boy oh boy was it an endeavor. I started on the torso area by building what I thought looked pretty good by using snot techniques. And if you don't know what snot means, it stands for stud not on top. I know it sounds disgusting, but I swear it's not. All the time. The look I wanted it to have was a similar look to Sora's Season 1 transforming mech. That set is awesome and a super new and original idea for mech sets for Ninjago. And since I like the Sora mech so much, I took a lot of inspiration in the way it was copied. The interesting angle that it's at makes it super cool, and it stands out from a lot of the other Ninjago. To do this, I built the whole torso at a 20-degree angle and then added some Technic pieces on the bottom so I could still connect the legs to it by using Technic units. 2 cool pieces I used were these 4x6 smooth looking things for the sides of the cockpit. One of them has some really nice tech looking detail on it. I added a black Nexonite shield to the top to give a crisp, sharp detail. The main colors I used were black, gray, and transparent red and green. Common traits in Ninjago mechs are 2 arms and 2 legs, like you'd expect. But LEGO has and continues to use this generic theme to death with every single one of the mechs that they make. So something that I wanted to do to counter that was adding an extra set of arms. Normally when something in Ninjago has 4 arms, it probably means that it's on the bad side. But this mech is for Aaron, so it's good. And whether you like it or not, 4 arms is gonna come in pretty handy. I built the arms by using a lot of joint pieces and ball joints. I used some snap pieces on each side, and then by putting some slopes on it, it made it look complete. It was hard to figure out how to get the arms looking correct and not like some kind of extruding tumor, but after some trial and error, I got them to a point that I really liked. I put katanas connected to some hook pieces on the arms to make them look extra cool and dangerous, and then on the other set of arms, I added some 6 stud shooters. Now, a small problem with these stud shooters is they're not exactly pointed in the right direction, so I guess they're just a self-destruct feature. I built 4 really cool tech swords for each of the arms using the Prime Empire blade pieces that LEGO used a lot in that wave of Ninjago, and connecting them to a Technic piece and combining them with swervy pieces. Not to brag, but they look awesome. One of the biggest problems I had while building this mech was rounding off the top in an appealing way. The shaping was really difficult to get, and since I didn't want to make an actual head, because I swear LEGO does that every single freaking time, I ended up making it round off the top by using this little part that I made for the back that almost looks like a dragon, and then using a lot of angle pieces on the front. I added some wires too, for literally no reason. But it needed to fly, so I gave it texture. And since I took a lot of inspiration from Sora's transforming mech, I made it look very similar to her. With the torso and arms complete, I started working on the feet. And it wasn't easy. I don't know why I'm outside, I just thought I needed to touch grass. And something that will make every LEGO fan love this is it does have knees. I am amazing. And just like the arms, I connected joint pieces from the hips to the joint pieces for the knees by using a lot of snot pieces. Some unexpected pieces I ended up using were these circular ones that I stripped from the Spinjitzu trainer sets. They add a nice round off to the top. I started building the feet off of this ball joint by adding pieces on both the front and back. I used these wing pieces, stacked them up to give a cool layering effect. Connecting all the feet pieces was super satisfying. Don't feel bad if you start crying. I did. I then proceeded to add the leg section to the torso section. No LEGO set head is complete without a side build. So I made a stand for the axe of destruction and a hovercraft thing for Void. And now that the four-armed mech for Aaron is complete, we have 2 new ninja sets left. And the next ninja we have is Sora, and what we're going to be building for her is a tech dragon. Because LEGO fans, dragons are nothing new to Ninjago, with there being dozens upon dozens of them. And there's been a variety ranging from fire to water to hybrids of fire and water. And these builds, so many dragons, are honestly legendary, but they set the bar so high that it's going to be really hard to live up to it in my own rendition. So I'm going to need to bring something both new and unique to the table. When defining a Ninjago dragon, you think of a couple key things that make up the actual dragon. The body, most importantly, the leg, tail, head, and there's the wings. But because I'm throwing a twist on this dragon to make it interesting, I'm not gonna add wings. If you're curious how this is gonna unfold, make sure you stick around. But before all that, we have the minifigures, arguably the most loved and recognized part of LEGO sets. This set is gonna have 4 figures in total. The first minifigure is Sora, and to build her, I grabbed the body from a Dreams figure and gave her the newest armor piece in gold. I gave her a dark blue mask, her head, and then let her grow out her hair for a new look. Very luscious, very mindful, very demure. Next is the main villain, Mr. Fancy Pants himself, Caesar Flickerman. Does he look familiar? No, there's no resemblance at all. Don't look into it. Ow. Caesar Flickerman is rocking the sharp blue tux and doing it quite well, might I add. He looks like he'd sell me insurance. Plus, he's a multi-nin millionaire. So that's fun. And for him, I decided to build a steampunk hovercraft using some clips on the sides and connecting brown rods for some good detail. I used these 2 pieces from a LEGO Speed Champions car and connected them, which is kind of giving the Treasure Planet vibe. Great movie, by the way. I've never seen it. I also added some wings, and then to finish off the look, I added some flame pieces to add some contrast and dynamic. The colors of this thing complement each other so well. I'm a master builder, honestly. Next, I made the Woo minifigure, but he's super simple. He might also be dead. I don't know. He had it coming, honestly. He's made just a few stupid choices. Flashback, please. And finally we have Aura, who is just a clone of Sora, hence the name. She's evil. I used Ultraviolet's leg for a sleek and royal-esque color scheme. I grabbed this hoodie torso, which I think looks pretty clean as well. But my question is, can you guess what this minifigure head is from? I never would have been able to. It's from the Hands of Time Nia suit. And I selected this hair, and I chose purple. She's got a metal arm too, that just adds to the sinisterness of her character. Jet, is that a word, sinisterness? But she's a copycat, so that's kind of negative aura, honestly. I'm adding some wings to her by using these 2 pieces and then grabbing these 2 wing-like pieces from the new Dragonoid Village set and attaching those to it. And it all connects to this. I think the 4 minifigures in this set are very demure and give it a good personality. But then, I started with the dragon, and I need to have a set idea for what I'm gonna do for the design. My plan is to include all the key aspects of a dragon except the wings. I mentioned that earlier, but if you forgot, I'm not gonna add wings. And while that may sound like it's gonna be stupid and trash, I would hold off on saying that, because Ninjago has pulled off dragons without wings before, and they're still some of the best to this day. I took a lot of inspiration from the Legacy Fire Dragon that LEGO made for that sub theme a while back. The color scheme I'm going for in this set is white, black, dark blue, and trans purple/pink. After putting in some work on the torso, I decided to take a break on that and shift my focus to the head of the dragon. Now, I love how LEGO used to make all of their dragon heads brick built, and I'll admit I definitely love the newer ones better, but the brick built ones definitely had their own personality to them. Now, when I tell you sculpting the head for this dragon was hard, that would just be the tip of the iceberg. I genuinely never thought it would be so difficult. I gave the head some transparent pink eyes, and I also stole the jaw from the fusion dragon because that just seemed like a nice lazy layout. I made a neck joint to combine both the head to the body and to add a saddle too. I clicked that on the body, and speaking of the saddle, it looks awesome. I tried to make it look as mechanical as I possibly could, so I went with these engine looking pieces on the side. I put a control pad in the front of the saddle using a click piece. I made the front legs just like the fire dragon. They're really long and they also have a slight angle in them, so they actually work and hold it up correctly. An interesting element I used is this piece that you would normally see on a Speed Champion's car. It rounds off the back of the leg in such a satisfying way. But you know, this dragon is supposed to be technology. And what do you think makes tech so dangerous? That's right, guns. You were probably thinking AI. Well, you were wrong, kid. Touch grass. I added some laser shooting guns to its leg. And picture this, it's soaring through the air while absolutely blasting this dude off the hovercraft thing. I still don't know what to call this, to be honest with you. And then the dragon flies away with pride. I added 2 long blades to each leg, which in my opinion was the finishing touch to really complete them. Meanwhile, for the back legs, they needed to be more sturdy. The key to the durability of the back legs lies in the actual pieces and building techniques. The foot just clicks right into some bar pieces, so it gives the most strength possible.
It's alive!
And then after clicking it into the body, it could be adjusted at the joint by the leg. And relying on the fact that the feet are pretty long themselves, I didn't have to worry about this thing falling over anytime soon. After building up a couple joints for the tail and adding some purple technology to them, snapping those together, and finally adding 2 final blades to the end of the tail, Sora's technology dragon is complete. This is one of the most technologically advanced dragons ever, and between all the sharp minifigures, creative side builds, and the legendary dragon build, this set is 5 out of 5 stars. And now that we have both Aaron's mech and Sora's dragon done, we can finally move on to Wildfire. We're gonna build her a dragon bike. And just like before, the first step to building any LEGO set is building the minifigures. The first minifigure in this set is Wildfire. Obviously, it's her bike. I stole Kai's mahogany red suit from the Hands of Time Wave, but this alone just isn't good enough. So I'm adding some wings from this Dragonian warrior from the latest season of Ninjago. These minifigures look amazing, and their wings work perfectly for this Wildfire. And since this is the future, Wildfire has learned both Spinjitzu and Rising Dragon techniques, which makes her even stronger than she was before. But a new villain has emerged. Dreadclaw, the master of stealth. Dreadclaw is an old Dragonian that got forgotten by his family and friends and then sent to the land of lost things. During his time there, he found some Imperium tech that spawned in the sky. Must have been forgotten. What is it? Dreadclaw's flying up to see. It's a star, but man-made? He found a red button, so he pushed it and bang! He was out and in a city in a flash. But instead of being grateful for getting out of such a horrible place, he chose to let the anger fill him. He learned martial arts by watching YouTube tutorials and some Jackie Chan movies. During this time, he also taught himself Shatter Spin, just like Aaron taught himself Spinjitzu. And all this anger that was corrupting him literally turned him black. He heard of a source of ultimate Shatter Spin power called the Shatter Core rooting from Thunderfang, just like the energy cores rooted from the Source Dragons. So he asked Thunderfang to pop one out, and he did. Nice! This core can give one Shatter Spin an unstoppable amount of power. His mission is to acquire the Shatter Core and to destroy everyone and everything because he had been forgotten. So he threw on his hat and started out. To build Dreadclaw, I grabbed these blue legs along with this blue Jurassic World torso. I then grabbed him some spiky armor. Then his wings went from red to black along with his face as well, which is actually from the Crystal King. I then gave him this dark blue straw hat from Rogue to represent his stealth in a visually interesting way. For his weapon, I made him this staff that has a Samurai X piece at the top and then this red transparent piece at the bottom. The reason for that is because this is a Shatter Spin powered weapon. Imagine a normal weapon but powered by Shatter Spin. Extra strong, extra deadly. And since Dreadclaw knows Shatter Spin, we can use this Shatter Spin spinner set. So let's build it up. And then use this red spinner to have him do Shatter Spin. Next is Master Lloyd. Now since this is taking place in the future, Lloyd has all but dropped his green color scheme for a much more Woo-inspired robe. So I grabbed this old fool's legs and torso from his crystallized outfit, and then gave him some white armor from the first season of Dragon's Rising. I then gave him his Prime Empire head, and finally his hair. The ninja characters in this set look really good, but are they strong enough to defeat Dreadclaw? To build this Dragonoid bike, I started off with a general bike structure. I built up this main base for the bike by adding the back wheel using these typical Technic rods for holding the actual wheel. I then made the wheel in the front stick out much further than usual on Ninjago bikes for a different look. I also added these covers from the Mr. E-bike back from that Season 8 bike chase set. It adds some really nice detail. One of the most challenging parts of building this set was figuring out a way for it to have volume, just like my hair. See, most Ninjago bikes use a ton of Technic pieces to add volume, whether it be a flash out feature or just rocks connected to the side. But a fun fact is that I am awful at the Technic side of Lego. So I opted for these angular pieces that can move using the hinge to achieve different angles. Then I made 2 of these side pieces with some black scales along with some vents on the tops and these flaps at the back. Volume. Meanwhile, Lloyd and Wildfire were both after the Shatter Core after reading about it in a scroll. But they ran into Dreadclaw and started fighting it. Lloyd went in for a Spinjitzu Tornado attack but gets punched to the ground. Then Wildfire instantly went in for a Rising Dragon attack, but Dreadclaw stomped his leg and then started doing Shatter Spin, knocking her to the ground. Then he started flying away, and Wildfire chased after him, but he's just a more experienced flyer. I forgot he can fly. We need to get this bike ready for these two so they can use it to beat him to the core, because if they don't, bad stuff is gonna happen. And Wildfire also needs to practice flying. You'd think someone who grew up with dragons would be better at this. Shut up. To build the front part of this bike, I built this engine with some snot pieces on the sides and then connected some blasters to it that shoot red lasers. I also added some black scales on each side. The eyes I used were from the Firstborn Dragon, and they really give the bike that dragon feel that I was going for. I then clicked the handle. Moving right onto the back, I built this little base using some slopes and snot pieces. Now, one thing this bike is not gonna struggle with is speed, because I added this massive booster in the back and fire blasting out of it. Speed is key in the race to the Shatter Core, and this bike is gonna have it. I want it to be able to fly as well, so I'm gonna add wings all over it. Now I'm finally adding these golden horns in the front. Now let's go get this Shatter Spin core. By the time the ninja got there, Dreadclaw was flying right above them, and he came in with an attack from his Shatter Spin powered weapon and knocked the bike, Lloyd, and Wildfire a good 30 feet away. He then grabbed the Shatter Core out of its spiked capsule that I built using these red claws that wrap around the actual core. And after Dreadclaw had absorbed the core, he achieved the incredible Shatter Spin strength he needed to be unstoppable. Lloyd and Wildfire both attacked, but it did nothing to even dent his power. Spinjitzu didn't work, neither did Rising Dragon. Then Wildfire thought to herself, I should see if I can transfer Rising Dragon to my bike. That Kai would totally be jealous of. Well, it's worth a shot. So she jumped on her bike and started flying at Dreadclaw. And then she started using Rising Dragon and it worked. The power transferred to her bike, and because of the size, she knocked Dreadclaw to the ground and the core literally flew out of him. Wait, is he red again? Lloyd rushed over and grabbed the core as quick as he could. It looks like knocking the core out of Dreadclaw took all the corruption out of him. Maybe he's good now. Maybe. We just built 3 amazing Ninjago sets that take place in the future, and also some amazing minifigures. Always remember that Jesus loves you, and let me know if you'd be interested in me building a custom set for Frack at some point in the future. And make sure you subscribe. You should totally watch one of these videos. I built minifigures Lego refused to make in the right one.